Here's your wrestling news for October 3rd, 2020. And your headlines for today include: WWE Forcefully had talent sign new agreements to turn over their Cameo accounts. Vince McMahon's new email to the WWE wrestlers leaked. WWE officially announces 3 big matches for SmackDown next week. Huge segment involving Bray Wyatt announced for WWE Raw next week. Kairi Sane reveals future plans with WWE. AEW makes big change on social media, announced stacked card for next week. Chris Jericho fires back at people who are happy about Donald Trump's current situation. From Impact Wrestling World Champion to just another guy on WWE SmackDown. Why Shinsuke Nakamura dressed as the Undertaker. Major update on Randy Orton's case, and more. We're kicking off today with WWE's edict that they're taking control of the Twitch accounts of superstars, as it turns out the company isn't stopping there. Andrew Yang, who's been adamant on WWE's treatment of superstars as independent contractors, is claiming that new contracts were being offered, demanding roster members stream on Twitch with WWE's rules or face some kind of penalty. And now there's more details about what WWE will do with Cameo. Wrestling Inc. is reporting that superstars will now have to turn over their Cameo accounts to the company, with the following key points being part of the contract. Talent affirms that WWE is their authorized representative. Talent authorized Cameo to make all payments and other compensations to WWE. Cameo will not be made a party in any dispute between the talent and WWE. The authorization can be canceled at any time, only if the account is canceled. One person who will be subject to WWE's rules is Dakota Kai, as she's explained her return to Twitch on Twitter. Not only does Kai stream by herself, but she often plays games with New Legacy Inc., the channel that broke the Tessa Blanchard Battleground story. And in a tweet, she said she's on Twitch to have fun as a gamer, communicate with fans, and raise money for charity. The big question yet to be addressed is what'll happen to a superstar's Twitch and Cameo accounts when they leave WWE, as many superstars have spent years building their Twitch following, which will soon be owned by WWE. Fightful are also reporting that Vince McMahon has sent what he's described as a friendly reminder to superstars, informing them that the October deadline to sever ties with any third-party companies has now passed, and that remaining on these sites may now result in fines, suspension, or even termination. Whilst it was hoped that the confusing initial emails about this new third-party edict would allow superstars to run their Cameo accounts as normal, that clearly isn't the case, and now superstars will have to hand over both Twitch and Cameo or face the consequences. Over to SmackDown now, and even before this week's show had ended, we received some major news for next week's show. 3 matches have been confirmed, including Sasha Banks facing Bayley for the SmackDown Women's title, as the Boss will look to get revenge on her former best friend and end her 357-day reign. After Kevin Owens was attacked by Bray Wyatt during his interview with Alexa Bliss this week, the Raw superstar will return next week to face Wyatt. Big E vs. Sheamus in a Falls Count Anywhere match has also been confirmed, and out of the ring, Otis will face The Miz with his Money in the Bank briefcase on the line, but in a legal battle. Looking further down the line, Jey Uso appeared on SmackDown to talk his Clash of Champions match against Roman Reigns, and though the Tribal Chief tried to talk to his cousin, Jey only had eyes for the Big Dog's Universal title. Reigns granted his cousin a rematch at Hell in a Cell, and though he didn't name a stipulation, he said that this time the consequences will be very real, teasing that the two will meet inside the barbaric Hell in a Cell structure. Clearly, there will be plenty to watch next week's SmackDown for, as the road to Hell in a Cell continues. This week's SmackDown also saw one of the best segments in years, as Alexa Bliss gave a stellar performance on The Kevin Owens Show. Owens' intentions were clear from the start, as he came to find the similarities of the changes between Alexa Bliss and Aleister Black, his rival on Raw. It wasn't long into the segment that KO realized he'd lost Bliss, who had been possessed by The Fiend, and when he asked if The Fiend was there, she told him he's everywhere, resulting in Wyatt's return to the Thunderdome. The Fiend quickly attacked Owens, indicating that the Universal Champion's feud with Black is finished, or it will be on Monday, and it also looks like Owens may be heading to SmackDown. This segment also gave Wyatt's first feud since Payback, and it also revealed Bliss's role as his right-hand woman, an incredible character change for the former women's champion. With Bliss officially by his side, we'll have to see what The Fiend has in store next, but this angle is getting more interesting with each passing week. Whilst Wyatt will face Owens on SmackDown, fans won't have to wait long to see the Eater of Worlds, as he'll appear on next week's Raw as the guest of the Kevin Owens Show. It'll be interesting to see what Wyatt has to say, especially about the Alexa Bliss situation, and with their match on SmackDown being night 1 of the draft, it could also have some huge repercussions. Next week's Raw will also feature a huge 6-man tag, pitting WWE Champion Drew McIntyre and Raw Tag Team Champions The Street Profits against Randy Orton, Robert Roode, and Dolph Ziggler, as there'll be plenty to tune in for on Monday. More from SmackDown now, and after weeks of vignettes teasing a mysterious woman, that superstar was revealed to be the returning Carmella, and it seems like she's going to be a glamorous heel when she returns to the ring. Whilst the vignettes have been on SmackDown, where Carmella is currently rostered to, WWE did tease that she could be drafted to Raw, though that makes us question why WWE would use her vignettes on the show she's leaving. We've also been left to wonder if this glamour gimmick is necessarily the right fit for her, as Tennille Dashwood, aka Emelina, knows that gimmicks like these have a shelf life. Some have even considered this new gimmick a step back for the former SmackDown Women's and 24/7 champion, but we'll have to see what Carmella does next before we decide whether the gimmick is good. One person fans won't see on Raw, SmackDown, or as part of the draft is Kairi Sane, and though she's left WWE, the Pirate Princess didn't leave WWE entirely. In a statement translated from Japanese, Sane said that she still considers herself to be a WWE superstar, but is now back in her homeland of Japan to work as a trainer for the company. It seems that WWE was able to keep the former NXT Women's Champion under their fold despite her moving back to Japan, and now she can spend time with her husband, whom she married in February. There's always the possibility that Sane could reunite with Asuka down the line, but with travel restrictions still in place and the WWE's plans for a performance center in Japan, it looks like Sane could do far more good for the company back home. Over to AEW now, as the company has been around for over a year and has now made a huge change to their Twitter. From now on, the company will use @AEW for their official Twitter handle after they previously used @AE Wrestling. Now, the wrestling promotion have found a way to acquire the AEW handle, and whilst the ongoing situation has proven to be a difficult time for the relatively new company, they've got a huge night planned for next week's official 1-year anniversary of Dynamite. Instead of building the show about the 1-year anniversary, the company is focusing on a special celebration for Chris Jericho, who will be celebrating 30 years in pro wrestling. And Jericho will also be in action, teaming with Jake Hager to face Luther and Serpentico. There'll also be plenty of title matches next week too, as TNT champion Brody Lee will defend his title against Cody in a dog collar match, whilst Brian Cage will defend the FTW title against Will Hobbs. FTR's tag team titles will be up for grabs when they face TH2, and time will tell who leaves with championship gold on what will be a historic night for All Elite Wrestling. We are going political next, as WWE Hall of Famer and US President Donald Trump has tested positive mere weeks before the election. Given his past comments, including playing down the seriousness of the situation and refusing to wear a mask whilst mocking presidential opponent Joe Biden for doing so, not everyone has been kind to the controversial president, which caught the ire of Chris Jericho. On Twitter, the former world champion spoke about those who seemed to be happy about Trump's positive test, saying, "Whether you like the president or not, people who are literally wishing him dead are out of line. Not cool, and I'm not going to debate that." Ryback also tweeted out a similar message, saying that wishing death on anyone is never acceptable, and Biden has said that he is sending his thoughts to the president and the First Lady, and will keep them in his prayers. We're sending our best to anyone who's tested positive, no matter their political stance, as the current global situation has claimed over 1 million lives, which is 1 million too many. Back to SmackDown now, and on this week's show, we couldn't help but notice just how far John Morrison has fallen this year. Morrison, who left WWE in 2011 after years of fans saying he was underused, returned earlier this year, and in his time away did plenty, including becoming the face of Impact Wrestling as their world champion, and was a major player in Lucha Underground. Now, fans can see Morrison lose week after week on SmackDown in an attempt to get Otis over, a role that could be done with many unused superstars instead of a former Impact World Champion. Shorty G has suffered a similar fate, as he too has never had many real storylines over the past year or so, with his heel turn and alignment with King Corbin going nowhere. Once again, Gable faced and lost to Sheamus on this week's SmackDown, and with the draft around the corner, hopefully a change of scenery will allow both Morrison and Shorty G to revitalize their careers. Back to WWE now, as it's been reported that NXT is leaving Full Sail in favor of the Performance Center, and now we have an idea why. As many predicted, this move is due to the ongoing situation, as Wrestling Inc. is reporting that students at Full Sail are no longer taping the show, as the university has only partially reopened to have some students on campus. With students no longer getting vital experience by filming NXT, the WWE had no reason to stay there, and this amicable split will also mean that WWE won't have to ask Full Sail's permission to bring live fans in, something the WWE has been wanting to do for all their programming for quite a while. Paige news next, as she's one of WWE's many Twitch streamers affected by the new edict, and that's not the only issue she's faced recently. On Twitter, one so-called fan blasted Paige for streaming, accusing her of not starting a stream like others did, and argued that her fame got Paige a Twitch fanbase, unlike streamers who started with one viewer. The former Divas champion fired back, saying she knows her celebrity status helped her, but she worked for 15 years to build that fanbase in the first place. Given how regularly she streams, it's likely Paige will continue now that WWE is in control, and whilst her fame certainly helped her on the site, fans are sticking around to see her now. Now, Shinsuke Nakamura is known for his electric personality and bright red outfits, but recently, the SmackDown Tag Team Champion traded all that in for something darker. Online, Nakamura posted a picture of himself in The Undertaker's iconic gloves and shirt, saying it was a photo shoot for something coming up. Though the King of Strong Style didn't specify what that something is, it's worth noting that next month will be 30 years since the Phenom's WWE debut, so fans can expect the company to do something special for such a monumentous occasion. And we're ending today with news from Randy Orton, as earlier this week, it was confirmed that the tattoo artist behind his ink is filing a lawsuit against WWE and Take-Two Interactive for the use of her work in video games. The argument behind artist Catherine Alexander is that her work is being used in the games without her receiving any compensation, and according to The Hollywood Reporter, Alexander first heard a rumor that WWE were planning on introducing faux tattoo sleeves, including ones of her work, so that fans could emulate the Viper. When Alexander told WWE she'd be willing to negotiate over reproductions of her work, she was reportedly told she has no grounds about the matter, but now a court case will see a jury determine if this is copyright infringement. If Alexander is successful in her lawsuit, then it could open a Pandora's box for other artists who have seen their work be used in WWE games without their express permission, and this case may prove to be more painful for WWE than getting any tattoos.